Hello, friends.
Hello.
Fresh pairing for you here this afternoon. I am Snoogans.
And I'm MC. I'm a bit less fresh.
I mean, to be fair, I am not particularly fresh myself.
You might have seen me on the camera running around the track during the last jam.
Yes.
The last game. Yep.
Yeah, mad props for that, my friend. That was impressive. Absolute hats off to yourself and Stormy for just running like mad people to hype the crowd up while we were in that technical timeout. But fresh as in, we've not worked together yet this weekend.
That is true, and I'm really looking forward to this.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to the game as well.
Yes, this is our third medal. I knew I'd do it. It's because I said it before I put the headset on. This is our third place bronze medal game between North Wales Roller Derby and Manchester Roller Derby, the Valkyries.
And they do get genuine medals.
They do. We've got wonderful medals. We've got some beautiful bronze medals. They are engraved. And so we've got the Valkyries skating in the nice sort of emeraldy green, and North Wales skating in the purple. And we are go.
Fantastic. We've got Meryl Streak on track for North Wales.
And that is Trauma jamming for the Valkyries. Both jammers have had much success so far this weekend, so it will be interesting to see how they get on against these walls, respectively.
Definitely, yeah. They've both featured in the awards that have been given out after each game earlier in the weekend.
Repeatedly, I think.
Repeatedly, yeah. That's what you want.
Yeah.
And we have a lead. Trauma is out first.
First penalty of the game going to Max Payne for North Wales. So one blocker down for Wales as Trauma comes up to a scoring pass.
Looks like that was a high block penalty. Don't get as many of them as some of the other categories.
No, they are fewer and further between.
So Trauma Doll back at the back of the pack, trying to find a line. Oh, I don't know whether or not they managed to stay just inside the inside line. They didn't know either. They've gone back to the back to be on the safe side.
Meanwhile, Meryl Streak still stuck on that tripod wall of Valkyries at the front. Has made a gesture to her pivot Maz a couple of times like she was looking to pass, but has maintained the star in a stash to complete the initial.
And Trauma's put the first points on the board of the game. That's 4 points for Manchester. And a quick call off to deny North Wales any. Did Trauma pick up another point or two there? Let's check. Yep, looks like 2 more points, so three more points.
Beautiful.
3 more, 7-0.
Nice. Not a bad start to the game, closing out our opening 2 minutes.
So this is an interesting matchup because the two teams were actually in the same division. They were both in Tier 3 West.
I was not aware of that.
And they had a pretty close fought game in Tier 3 West when they faced each other. North Wales did manage to edge it with 177, but Valkyries on 141, and that was back in May. Lots has changed since May.
Okay, yeah. Lots of opportunities for sort of like potential for sort of skaters to improve and develop, teams to restructure, that kind of stuff.
But also teams which might know some of each other's tactics.
Yes.
Might be able to, and they'll have seen each other play across the weekend, of course.
Exactly. So we do have both jammers out of the penalty box. Cherry skates well, is lead, and she has called the jam.
It's a quick call off, but not quite quick enough. 2 points each, which, if you're not lead, is a very satisfying result.
Yes.
If you are lead, it's not so good.
Yeah, no, it's got to be a bit frustrating. It's like, well, you know, I've bagged myself some points, but I didn't call it quick enough to prevent the opposition from picking up something as well.
Absolutely. It's, I mean, it's all tactical, isn't it?
So much tactics.
I think this is the thing that I found when I started roller derby. You know, you come along and watch a game. This is quite fun. They're hitting each other. It looks like everyone's enjoying it, and hopefully they are.
Yeah.
But it's all tactical. There's so much to think about, and that's one of the big things that's kept me involved in this sport for the last years.
Wonderful. Very quick jam there from Slamwise Bambi. Did get the initial, picked up lead, and 3 points on the board at 3 unanswered points.
unanswered. And yep, a nice bit of success for North Wales there, closing that gap. Early days, tiny gap. Anything can happen.
Yeah, we've seen so much movement across a lot of the games this weekend. I mean, if we take yesterday afternoon, or yesterday evening rather, with the Inhuman League in Kent, obviously Kent came out quite very strong with the initial lead. They were leading for the first sort of 10 to 15 minutes by a significant margin. And then the Inhuman League obviously switched things up, were able to claw things back and maintained that lead throughout the rest of the game. So these opening minutes don't necessarily represent the whole game, but it's interesting to see how things are going to ebb and flow as we move across.
Absolutely. And I mean, in that example, the Inhuman League really had to adapt to how they saw Kent play, had much more challenge than I think they might have anticipated from Kent. And it also goes to show that previous results from a few months ago are not necessarily a reflection of what's going to happen today.
100%. So quick timeout there, which has resulted in a penalty being awarded to a Valkyries blocker. So 2 of them starting in the penalty box.
God Complex taking advantage of that for North Wales, out as lead and straight through for another 4 points.
Yeah, really, really nice quick pass there. Meanwhile, French Bird still looking for the initial for the Valkyries. It's a really nice 3-all from North Wales at the front.
Really making French Bird work for this. But it's fair to say that Valkyries tripod at the back looks every bit as strong. After 2 successful passes, God Complex looks a bit stuck.
Yeah, got a tripod of their own at the back there. Psychosis for the Valkyries, dipping between, attempting to run offense for French Bird and dropping back into kind of almost a reverse anchor position in the Valkyries wall. And we've also got that tripod at the front just has not given anything at all. There's been hardly any movement along the track. We've taken a good 30, 40 seconds to move about 20 feet.
Yeah, and I think if you were on here watching the last game, this is quite a different style of play. It shows the contrast you can get. Both games played by skillful teams playing at decent level of play. They've got here to the playoffs, so they're clearly successful teams.
Yeah, it's the thing that kind of I know sometimes boggles the mind is it's exactly the same rule set.
I should just point out we've had our first lead change of the game.
Ooh.
North Wales now on 13, scored 8 in that jam, so unsurprisingly highest scoring jam so far, but I suspect that's going to be beaten.
Yeah, it's early doors. Early doors. We have seen some high-scoring jams from both of these teams. Some really accomplished blockers across the board.
So we've got a trauma for Valkyries, finding that space on the outside and getting the lead.
Meryl Streak nearly through on the outside line, but just clipped off and resetting herself. Really nice track awareness there. She could have. It was very close on the outside line. She could have chanced it, but knew it was the safer option to reset.
Lovely bit of blocking by Maz there for North Wales. Managed to not only stop Trauma in their tracks, but knock them to the inside and then ran them back, forcing the call-off.
We love to see it.
That was a 2-0 jam in Manchester's favour, but only 2-0.
Yeah. But again, closing it to just a 2-point game, 11-13. Still not much time elapsed. Just under 23 minutes left of our first half as Basket Case and picks up lead over Cherry Skateswell.
But no, in fact, Basket Case managed to cut on the way through and so is being sent to the box. Cherry Skatewell also off to the box.
I totally missed the cut from Basket Case, so I was going to say, no, it's Cherry Skateswell's heading to the box. What are you talking about, MC? But your eyes were keener than mine, my sleep-deprived eyes, and he clocked it.
But as a result, it means we're not going to have a lead, we're going to have a 2-minute jam, and it also means that neither jammer had to spend very long in the box because we matched the amount of time they spend in the box.
So yeah, both jammers already back on track, and only 40 seconds of the jam elapsed already.
There's a lot happening in this one. Cherry Skatewells is the first one out the front of the pack, in with a chance of scoring some decent points here.
Basket Case hugging the outside line.
Pushing and pushing. Are they going to get those blockers pushed out of play at the front? That's a good tactic if you can manage it, but you've got to move them.
Yeah, easier said than done when you've got Psychosis heading up the 2-wall.
Planted there, but moving just enough to not get a stop block penalty. Nice, skillful play.
Oh, wonderful offensive jamming, and again that track awareness from Basket Case. Still looking to get out of the pack, but spotted Skateswell sort of in a peripheral, so managed to get in the way and took Skateswell down to slow her progress. But Basket Case is still looking for that pass.
Yeah, and Skatewell has managed to get through and completed that trip, and it does mean, it's notable. Skatewell may go down, but gets straight back up again and continues fighting through the pack.
Meanwhile, we're coming to the end of the jam, and Basket Case, I do believe, did not complete that initial pass.
Nope, no completed trip at all, which means that was 8 unanswered points for Manchester.
And another lead change.
Another lead change. Wow, that's 2 lead changes in the first 10 minutes. I feel like this could be a close one, could be a really good game.
Yeah, I think this is potentially indicative of the rest of the game. Slamwise Bambi and a new jammer for Manchester in this jam, Dr. Crusher.
So yeah, Dr. Crusher's been one of their top jammers through the season, so a bit surprising they've waited till Jam 7 to put them on track. Let's see what they can do. Well, they can get lead.
They can indeed. Saving those legs, perhaps waiting to kind of establish themselves in the game. Like you said before, it's all about tactics.
Absolutely, yeah. It's been a hot weekend. These teams have both played 2 games already. You don't want to wear your best jammers out at the start of the game and find that you suffer at the end.
We've had a star pass to Maz for North Wales.
Yeah, Maz is very much a double threat, one of their strongest jammers as well as one of their strongest blockers through the season.
Yes, I saw, I was calling the game for North Wales and Hallam, was it this morning? Yes, and Maz took quite a few star passes, and yeah, it was just generally a real pain in the backside.
So these teams to get here, they've both had to come in the top 2 in their division during the season, and then they've had to win their first game, their quarter-final at this tournament, but then they lost the game, their semi-final earlier today, which means they're playing for the bronze medal. And I think they really want these bronze medals.
Absolutely.
Yeah, one team gets the nice medals and the other team doesn't.
Yes. It gets the knowledge that they've put in a lot of hard work, and they should still be incredibly proud of themselves.
Oh, yeah.
But obviously not anything to take home, unfortunately.
So French Bird has the lead, but God Complex out as well. Just over a quarter of a track behind. Let's see how many French Bird can get before the likely call-off. Yep, that was the likely call-off, and the answer is 2 points.
Blocker piece in the box for each team.
Yes, although the only slight difference is that North Wales' blocker is also a pivot, which means that North Wales' jammer won't be able to pass the star until their pivot gets out of the box. They might not want to pass the star, they might not be bothered.
Yeah, it's my star.
Yeah.
It's very protective about the star. Trauma, very speedy, 4 seconds to pick up lead jammer there. Meanwhile, I do believe that's God Complex.
God Complex has played
Merrill Streak, my mistake.
Merrill Streak.
is pushing against those edges, trying to find the spaces to complete that initial, to try and either rush the pack and pick some points up herself, or I've said it several times this weekend, do some damage limitation on that point deficit.
So Trauma seems to be a big success for Manchester this weekend. I can see that so far, every time Trauma's been jammer, they've got lead.
That must feel nice.
Oh, absolutely. And yeah, so Trauma, formerly of Halifax, moved over to Manchester a little while ago, and looks to be a big asset to this team.
Yeah, she's really coming into her own, and I know from being friends with her on social media and such, I know that she sort of does a lot of sort of quote cross training. She does a lot of fitness work outside of roller derby to help both for sort of personal stuff and to help with her roller derby training. And it clearly pays off.
Absolutely.
Incredible athlete, as everyone we've seen this weekend is.
Well, not everyone. You saw me run round, and I was not an incredible athlete.
I mean, you got round.
Yeah. I mean,
which is better than I would have done.
I made it round the track once, and I got quite hot.
Yeah.
These skaters are playing for an hour.
Yeah, I'm still slightly awestruck about this whole thing that's going on here.
Absolutely.
Big respect, and pretty big scoring jam there for Manchester as well. 12 points on the board. It is the biggest jam, in fact, as I've been astutely
biggest
informed.
Jam so far. I said that 8 points is going to get beaten. 12 points now. Yep.
Thank you there from our producer Smash.
And very quick lead for Cherry Skatewells there. Basket Case still trying to make their way through the pack.
It's a jammer pairing that we've seen a few times so far today.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think
twice.
We've seen it twice today, yes, absolutely.
Love having the stats.
Yeah.
My brain doesn't retain anything.
It's great. It's so useful having these stats. When you think we've got in our heads, 100% lead, well, maybe our producer's helping us a little here.
Yeah. And it looks like we have ourselves a power jam. Basket Case heading to the penalty box.
Oh, that's unfortunate for North Wales. Manchester deciding. Yeah, Manchester are going to go into this next jam, and it will start as a power jam for them. They've had the last few leads anyway. They're going to have a strong chance of getting another one here.
Yes. We have seen at least one lead out of the penalty box so far today. I cannot recall who it was awarded to, which team.
It's a good point. Yeah, of course, just because you start in the penalty box doesn't mean you can't get lead.
Yeah,
as long as you keep that star on, you've got that star on your helmet, you don't take it off during the jam, you're still eligible.
It's happened a couple of times this weekend.
So we've got a strong tripod here, being pushed forwards but not yielding. But they got pushed and pushed by Dr. Crusher until they went out of play, and more than 20 feet from the pack, they had to give up, let Dr. Crusher through his lead.
Crusher looked to be favouring the outside, took a quick juke to the inside, manages to get through for a first scoring pass.
That's the way to do it. Make us think you're going for the outside, then go to the inside. If it fools us, it's going to fool quite a few of those blockers as well.
The old switcheroo. We do have Basket Case back on track as well.
Another 4 points for Dr. Crusher, though.
It looks like we're trying to get a star pass from Basket Case to her pivot.
Definitely thinking about the star pass, yep. Thinking about a pass to Max Payne, who's pivot in this jam. But if you... The star passes have to be hand-to-hand, so instead Basket Case decides to come out on their own, forcing the call off.
Yeah, Basket Case forcing the call for only 3 points on that pass for Manchester, but not quite quick enough to get their hips around any of the Manchester blockers to acquire any points for North Wales.
Yeah, so an 11-0 jam there. I think it's fair to say North Wales are finding this quite tough. And remember, when they played each other earlier in the year, North Wales were the victors.
Yeah, so like as we say, there's been plenty of opportunity for development. It may be there's people not available this weekend or things have changed. I personally am very much of the opinion one person does not make a team.
One person certainly shouldn't make a team if the team's dependent on one player.
It's something we said in relation to something else earlier. There is no iron team.
But I have seen teams in the past with one or maybe two really strong skaters, and the team does really rely on them, which causes a big problem if that skater's then injured or unavailable for some other reason.
And obviously we're not suggesting that's what's happening here.
Not at all. No.
But because it is something that does happen, and if you're building your whole team structure around one or two or a couple of skaters, and then one or two or all of them aren't available, then everything's going to fall apart when you get to a game. Which is why it's important to try and have either a depth and a breadth of skaters available. Obviously, we know that that's not possible for everybody because we're all trying to rebuild and stuff still after the pandemic. But it's important to make sure that you're nurturing everybody that you do have available and making sure that everybody's getting that same support from the coaching team.
Keep developing and bringing through those new skaters. And one approach which can be really effective, and we've seen a lot of this weekend, is if a league's got a junior league attached.
Yeah.
We've seen some wonderful skaters who come up through the juniors.
Absolutely that. And as we see Trauma pushing towards the front, and
Trauma keeps up that 100% lead.
Yep, on what is now a power jam with Slamwise Bambi picking up a cut penalty. To mention development, we've been really lucky this weekend. We've had two full officiating crews.
Yes.
And we've also had the opportunity to have a number of development officials, like a small development crew who have had the opportunity to do like some alt reffing, to do some sort of like some observation, and then to get some in-game experience as well. And I would also like to praise the opportunities for announcer development. So absolutely, we've got a really mixed experience crew this weekend in terms of announcing experience. But what's been really wonderful for both Storm and myself has been that everybody has had really wonderful and differing experiences within roller derby.
Absolutely.
And I don't think any of us is just a pure either official or announcer or a skater. We're all multi-skilled, and we're bringing all of that knowledge and experience to our calls. And we've had some wonderful feedback from yourselves at home and from people listening and from the in-house audience, and it's been really, really wonderful and warm for like positive warm, not temperature warm.
Also temperature warm.
Yeah, for myself and Stormy, to hear that our crew is being received so well. We're a small but mighty crew this weekend.
Absolutely. And it's been, as one of the newer announcers, it's been absolutely fantastic to have the support from the more experienced announcers, learning the ropes, getting tips along the way, what works, what to avoid doing. For instance, if you're announcing in-house, don't give away the current play. Yeah. Don't want to give those tactics away.
Oh, look, the jammer's standing in the box. No. Not in-house. Not in-house.
But on the stream, we can tell you those things.
Exactly. We can talk about it all day long. And timeout done and dusted, so we're back into the action. We were starting with a power jam start for Manchester.
Yep, Cherry Skatewells. Cherry Skatewells struggling a bit with this wall. Got a strong wall, a strong tripod here from North Wales. And just as I say that, Skatewells finds a way through it, gets lead.
That is, of course, the curse of the announcer.
Absolutely.
Slamwise back on track, working our way around. Oh, cracking hit there onto number 24. That's Zena. However, she has picked up a cut penalty. It's going to take another seat back in the box, meaning this power jam will continue for Cherry.
This is really bad news for North Wales. If your jammer's sat in the box, there's no way they can score you any points.
Yeah, Manchester currently sitting with a 60-point lead with just over 8.5 minutes remaining of the first half.
And a call off with the jammer standing in the box, because we can tell you that.
Yeah.
We can tell you the jammer's standing. So that means that Manchester are going to start yet again on a power jam. But we do have an official review.
Official review called by North Wales, by the looks of things.
By North Wales, so I wonder if they're going to see, perhaps they're going to see if they can get the jammer out the box. Perhaps they might be seeing where they can get the other jammer in the box, which would spring their own jammer.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be an instant release. It's, of course, we've had Smash head over into the middle for us to see what's going on. And when they know and they come back, they'll feed that back to us.
Because they can review absolutely any officiating decision. So I'm just guessing wildly here what they might want to review.
We are purely speculating.
But it makes sense to review something that's going to have the maximum possible impact on the game. You don't want to review something that might get a random blocker in the box for 30 seconds, because that's not going to have nearly as much impact as a change in the points or a change in which jammers are on track.
Yeah, from my view, unless sort of like when you mentioned like a random blocker penalty or something, unless it's something that you are 100% certain on, at which point you would then win the official review and retain the review to use at a later point in the half. You might as well save it for the possibility of aiding a jammer or something relating to points or something along those lines, like you say, having the biggest possible impact.
But the problem is that even if you're 100% sure, you've got to persuade the officials.
Yeah.
You can only persuade the officials if they saw it.
Exactly.
So perhaps something happened right in front of your bench and you know what happened. If the official didn't see it, it's not going to get overturned. It's not going to, that call's not going to be made or overturned.
Yeah, exactly that. But yeah, we've had some really interesting calls this weekend, and that's one of the things that I really love about tournaments, because you get to see a bunch of different teams, and not necessarily teams that you would normally get to see, and so like you get to interact with different bench teams, different captains, and you get to see what the focus is for different sort of like benching crews. So you can kind of discover what may be key for them, and sort of you might think, because I know that we've got people on our crew this weekend, for example, who are bench staff, and for some of them it may be like, well, if I were benching this game, I would have looked for this, and it's like, oh, it's interesting to see that they were calling that. So
it looks like it was a really impactful official review. So they were looking for the cut to be overturned that had been called on the purple jammer, on the North Wales jammer, arguing that instead it was no earned pass. And that was agreed. They won the OR, so jammer out of the box, penalty removed, and so we start off with both jammers on track. But despite having both jammers on track, Dr. Crusher for Manchester manages to get out first and get lead.
And Meryl Streak has headed to the penalty box for a defined cut.
Of course, this does mean that North Wales retain their official review. They've got a chance to use it again in the next 8 minutes. Who knows, maybe they'll try and get their jammer out again.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, Dr. Crusher, unopposed by another jammer, trying to get some laps in, score some points. All the blockers have decided they want to have a sprint round the track. I don't know why. It's really hot.
I mean, if they could bring it this way and provide us some breeze, that would be wonderful. Amazing control from Dr. Crusher there. Took some hits and kind of bounced along the outside line, but stayed inbounds on her toe stops.
Maz off to the box. Let's pivot for North Wales for a contact penalty.
Doctor is through.
And Merrill removed the helmet cover. That proved quite successful. Managed to find the line, now putting it back on, coming round Maybe they'll score some points. Maybe they'll force the call off.
However, Dr. Crusher has obtained a cut penalty, so she's going to take a seat in the box. There's only 6 seconds remaining of the jam as she sits down, so this is going to continue until the end, and that's going to be the majority of a penalty for going into the next jam.
Well, this is great news for North Wales. So put 4 points on the board from that jam. Yes, Manchester put on 12, but North Wales putting their first points on since jam 4, much needed. And now they've got a power jam start. Can they take advantage? Can they start changing the story of this game?
I mean, we can hope. It is a full complement of blockers on track.
Not going to be easy.
It's definitely not. Look, everyone huddling around the pivot line. We did have Manchester enacting the pivot rule, so toe stop, pivot
on the line. So we've got Basket Case trying to do the job for North Wales. Came up against a tough Manchester tripod. Maz came in to try and sweep that out the way.
Dr. Crusher is on her way back to the track.
And of course, that Dr. Crusher is eligible still to earn lead. Lead has not yet been called.
And she is. The Doctor is in lead position. Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
So the Jammers are having a race around the track. We can see who's in the lead, but they're very close behind each other. And Dr. Crusher has quite sensibly decided to call off the jam before North Wales managed to get to the pack and score some points.
I mean, no points obtained, but it looked good.
It did look good.
So style points.
Yeah, I mean, if we awarded style points, there's been some skating this weekend. I would award a lot of style points too. I've seen people do like a pivot on a toe stop.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't do that.
No.
And that's generally my bar. If I can't do it, I think it's stylish.
I mean, the skates I own don't have toe stops, so yeah, I'd be on my face. Trauma back onto jam, first time in a little while, and
Slamwise Barbie on for North Wales, and Slamwise manages to break Trauma's record. Slamwise gets lead for North Wales.
The streak ends. Heck indeed.
It's a sausage company, that.
It is, yeah. I usually use it to indicate that I've been bamboozled. And Trauma has removed the helmet cover, but it looks like she's gone for a stash. A pivot is...
Is that going to confuse the opposition? Doesn't look like it. It looks like they're well aware that Trauma remains jammer.
We see you.
But Trauma's made it out. Really made to fight for it. No points. And North Wales managed to put another 4 on the board. Official review.
Going to use it as a timeout.
Used as a timeout. So yeah, if you don't want to use up one of your timeouts, the timeouts, you get 3 for the entire game. If you think, well, it's near the end of period 1, we'd like a timeout, we don't want to use one of those precious timeouts, you can use your official review as a timeout instead.
Yeah, it's handy.
Alternatively, you can take your official review and try and bamboozle the refs a bit, talk at length about nothing much, come up with some question that's not going to be one, but you've wasted more than a minute.
Yeah, that's always an option. It's been a long time since I've seen that.
Yeah, sometimes it works out. Do you ever listen to the show Just a Minute? It's a bit like that, except you can repeat yourself. In fact, it's probably best to repeat yourself.
Yeah.
And deviate. Lots of deviation.
So much deviation.
That's kind of the whole point, is the deviation.
Yeah. The repetition is definitely encouraged. First time I listened to that show, I was like, I have no idea what's going on. Why are they stopping people? But yeah, once it was clarified, I was like, this is actually quite interesting. We have 3 minutes.
Maybe we should try a Derby version at some point to commentate on a jam without any repetition or deviation.
Maybe in the second half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, give us a bit of time to prepare.
Yeah. I definitely can't go into that unexpected. So 3 minutes 12 remaining on the period clock for the first half. We're going straight into this now. Cherry Skatewells is your lead jammer, and GOG Complex finds space on the inside line to complete her initial pass as well.
Cherry Skatewells just look round in time to see their bench asking for the call-off. So they managed to call off before the North Wales jammer hit the back of the pack. 4-0 jam.
Very well done.
So the name Dr. Crusher. I wonder where that comes from. Is there some superhero called Dr. Crusher, or is it just a combination of different soft drinks?
I'm fairly certain the Crusher, the milkshake thing is I think it's called Dr. Crusher.
Is it?
I think. I could be wrong.
I'm not sure. I always thought it was Crusher, and I thought maybe they're merging with Dr. Pepper.
No, not the fizz in the milk.
I mean, I wouldn't put them together.
No.
It's going to curdle.
It's so bad. I might have to Google it at halftime.
And it's fair to say Dr. Crusher is not curdling on track.
No.
It's got a lead.
It's a smooth drink.
And got the call off in time before Maz managed to get back to the pack and score some points. But how many points did Dr. Crusher score? It was 2 in that jam, just 2. Takes Manchester up to 98.
Tantalisingly close to the century.
The century, which is a lovely round number. We like round numbers.
I'm a fan. I'm also a fan of a palindrome.
A palindrome, yeah.
I've only had one so far this weekend that I've seen.
It's was that a skater name, or was it a number?
It was a score.
A score?
Yeah, it was. I decided it counted. It was 262 and 26 or something. It made sense. It vaguely read right.
I think I'm following.
Yeah. It's been a long week.
So Slamwise Barbie has been sent to the box. North Wales' jammer. That leaves French Bird relatively free as a French Bird to get lead. And is now returning to the back of the pack. Past one blocker already. But now has to face the tripod.
Yeah, feeding straight into that tripod.
I mean, you don't want to be up against a tripod. You know, a tripod is a very effective form of blocking. So I'm trying to say it in a voice to suggest it's a bit ominous. The tripod.
Tripod of Doom. If you add of Doom to the end of pretty much anything, it sounds... I mean, it kind of sounds silly, but also scary.
Let me try that. The pen of doom.
There you
Yeah,
go.
that does sound quite dangerous.
Yeah. Another 2 points on the board for Manchester there.
And 2 points on the board for Manchester takes them up to
100. Had to be hit half time.
Well, that's a good place to have half time.
It's not bad at all.
100 points to Manchester, 21 to North Wales.
And we are going to take some time and we'll come back to you with some stats in the second half. Folks, please do stick with us. A amount of points differential, what is that?
I'm at 79.
79. It's a big difference.
It's a big difference, absolutely. So I think the teams are going to be having very different conversations about what they're going to try in the second half. North Wales need to change their tactics. What are they going to do differently? What's going to make the difference so the second half's more successful for them? Manchester's going to be talking about, let's stay focused, let's keep doing this. This is working for us at the moment.
Sure thing. So yeah, we'll be back in about 8 or 9 minutes and we will see you then.
See you then.
Bye.
Bye. Welcome back. I am still MC.
And I am still Snoogs. And MC and I have just realised that we've been in each other's spheres of roller derby for over a decade.
Over a decade, yet we've been reminiscing about roller derby of the past, vintage roller derby.
Yeah. I announced MC when he used to play.
Yeah. Oh, it's the men's first ever men's Euros, at which I was very, very new and very, very bad.
Good grief, that's a futsal when...
Yes, futsal in Birmingham, yep.
Oh, I missed that venue.
But we've got a fantastic venue here this weekend.
We
Ponds
really
Forge.
do.
I think it is my favourite roller derby venue I've been to.
It's definitely up there.
The only thing that would improve it is if the aircon was a bit fiercer.
Yes, yes.
But it's beautiful sight lines. We've got the tiered seating at the side for a really enthusiastic crowd. There's a balcony up
There is
above
a balcony.
us where you're getting some of these shots from.
And we've still got some amazing roller derby for you. So we're straight into it. And we've got Trauma jamming for Manchester. And she is starting on a power jam start with Slamwise Bambi standing in the penalty box.
Yep, Slamwise is returning to track. Lead has already gone, but how much pressure can Bambi put on? So Trauma has generally been playing very well for Manchester this weekend, but those North Wales tripods are not easy. Getting a bit of assistance in breaking the tripod, but unfortunately not in an entirely legal way.
So we've got some stats for you. I'm going to pass them on to
Okay,
to
so in the first half, North Wales managed to get 3 leads. Whereas Manchester, they got 16. And I think that difference is showing up in the score there. Also, jammer penalties, they can make a big difference to the game. And it's a similar story. North Wales, 5 jammer penalties, Manchester only 2. So keeping clean, that can be of enormous benefit. Cherry Skatewell's out here as lead. Merrill Streak in hot pursuit for North Wales.
very hot pursuit. And that's at least 1.4 streak. That'll be 2 points with 1 blocker in the box. Yes.
And the last stat I have for you from the first period is the number of successful star passes. North Wales did 2 star passes, Manchester didn't do any. And perhaps the reason for that is Manchester were doing rather well. Perhaps they didn't feel the need to pass the star to the pivot.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of reasons to do a star pass, but if you're feeling fine, then no need.
Yeah. But at least it shows that North Wales' pivots are willing to take over.
Absolutely.
So Dr. Crusher on for Manchester, out as lead, halfway around the track already. Whereas North Wales have attempted another one of those star passes. It looks like it was successful. Yes, it was successful. So Max Payne is now their jammer.
Dr. Crusher running the jam.
Running the jam, and the skaters getting up quite some speed, except they've now knocked Max Payne out and running them back.
And Max Payne down the inside line, finding it free and relatively easy to pick up those 4 points. Meanwhile, Dr. Crusher taking the outside line to pick up her 4 points. It looks like that makes more sense. Dr. Crusher running the jam to empty the penalty box of her blockers.
But was that jam called off in time, or did North Wales manage to get some extra points on the board from that last trip? Yes, they did. Jammer ref checking with the other referees to double confirm this, and yep, 2 more points on the board for them. So that is 6 for North Wales, 8 for Manchester in that jam.
29 plays 113, 26 minutes remaining of the game.
So this jam, we've got Slamwise Bambi for North Wales up against French Bird for Manchester.
That is going to be, I was about to say an empty penalty box, but I've heard whistles going. So somebody's going to be heading off track. And it is French Bird.
Oh, French Bird has been caged.
Sad oiseau. So Slamwise is now your lead jammer, and she is in a power jam, and she will be looking for the precious aka the points.
So Samwise's bench asking for the call off. Yep, after a while gets heard, which means that North Wales get to start the next jam on a power jam, and they also managed a 1-0 victory in that jam.
French Bird is standing in the penalty box, so it will be 10 seconds or less of a power start.
Could be 9.9, could be 0.1. We don't know.
You're right, we're clueless.
Clueless.
We don't know anything.
Another pivot line start. Getting quite a lot of pivot line starts. Gives the jammers a bit of an opportunity to accelerate. GOG Complex not able to take advantage of that. Gets knocked to the inside.
And French Bird is released from the penalty box. GOG Complex nearly through on the inside line, but Hulk Grogan with a nice shoulder check, taking her off and setting her for the recycle.
So both jammers in the pack, both facing opposing tripods, both eligible to become lead.
And French Bird being assessed lead jammer 42 seconds into the jam, and she is now on a power jam as GOG Complex picks up a cut and takes a seat.
And French Bird through again, gets those 4 points on the board. So I think French for bird, that's oiseau.
Oiseau, oui.
Oui. Well, always good to do a bit of language work. Brush up on on languages.
Sure.
Yeah, well, might have some listeners who speak a bit of French and will appreciate that.
I mean, all I've really got to offer is oiseau, canard.
Canard. Oh.
It's duck.
I'm learning.
Pigeon. I'm pretty sure it's just pigeon with an accent.
So Cherry Skatewell's quickly out for lead. GOG Complex is sat in the box still, standing now, but Skatewell's on a scoring triple, ready and through. 4 points on the board.
Can offer a pamplemousse if we get desperate. Oh. It's grapefruit.
It sounds a lot more romantic than grapefruit.
It really does. Super beautiful hit by number 55, Gadgets Girl.
Cherry Skatewells, though, off to the box for a forearm penalty.
Yes.
This gives GOG a good opportunity to get some more points on the board for North Wales. But there's a few skaters who have something to say about that. And GOG with a quick star pass to number 35, which is Megapixel.
Cherry Skatewells is back on track. Pixel appears to have handed the helmet cover back to GOG.
Okay, that is not permitted, which may be the reason why Megapixel is now going to the box. Yep, it looks like, well, wait till this confirmed, it looks like Megapixel is serving a penalty as the jammer. So a little bit of confusion there of that star pass, but once the pivots receive the star, if it's all legal, they become the jammer. They can't then give the helmet cover back.
Oh.
But that was a 12-0 jam to Manchester.
Very nice.
Manchester, yeah, built up quite a nice lead here, yeah, pretty solid lead, but been doing it bit by bit. We've not had massively high-scoring jams.
No, we've had a couple of hefty ones, but by and large, it's been kind of piecemeal, so to speak.
Piecemeal, yeah. North Wales aren't letting Manchester run amok. They're keeping the pressure on them.
Nickel and dime, if you will.
Nickel and dime, yeah. Is there like a British version of that saying?
So Seth and I had this conversation in house, and he was like, it's pennies and 2 pennies, thank you very much. And I was like, yeah, but it doesn't sound as good.
What about penny and farthing?
Tuppence bag. The highest jam, speaking of sort of how it's kind of been built up, the highest jam we've had for North Wales is 8, and the highest jam we've had for Manchester has been 16 points. Yeah,
so I think that just goes to show that, although Manchester certainly got the better of this game at the moment, North Wales aren't giving them free rein. We're not seeing those 20, 24, 28-point jams that we've seen in some other games.
Absolutely, and I mean, we have seen, like, yeah, exactly. Sorry, I was about to just pretty much repeat what you said.
It's because it was such wisdom.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, he's just saying such wise words.
5 seconds, here we are. So, with Manchester on 129, North Wales on 30. Manchester have Trauma back on track. Very successful record in this game.
Maz managing to take Trauma off on the inside line and recycle it back past turn 4.
Curse the commentator, isn't it?
Meanwhile, Meryl Streak is in that 3-wall again.
So we keep seeing these tripods game after game. They're such an effective shape. Trauma out for lead. So if you can keep a tripod shape, you can have those 2 blockers at the back next to each other, not holding, not gripping.
Yeah.
And but pretty strongly held together, very hard for the jammer to get through there. And you've also got that manoeuvrability side to side of the track. That's why it's such an effective formation.
Exactly. You've got those 2 blockers who can then kind of manoeuvre that anchor. And the anchor can then swing from either of the blockers to help cover more of the track. It really is a dream of a setup blocking wise.
And so North Wales did a star pass to Megapixel there. Megapixel managed to get out the pack and force that call off, holding Manchester to just 3 points in that jam.
Just as an aside, I think Megapixel was released from the box during that official timeout between jams.
Ah, okay, yep.
Because they exited the box between jams and returned to the track and started the jam on track.
Ready to help their team out, but as it turned out, by becoming jammer partway through the jam. So we've got French Bird back on for Manchester, Slamwise Bambi for North Wales. And leads to North Wales to Slamwise Bambi. Great opportunity for them to put a few more points on the board.
French Bird, meanwhile, caught in, a Welsh 3-wall.
I don't know what Welsh for 3-wall is.
No.
My languages have run out.
I feel like either Mr. Needsom or Duke Special may have been able to help us with that one. They were talking Welsh on either side of me this morning. It was quite enjoyable.
Ah, excellent.
Yeah, both of them are multilingual. It's fantastic.
This is the 5 Nations. It's important we include, to some extent, the languages of the rest of those nations.
Exactly.
And we have got skaters, we've got officials from around those 5 nations. I know we've got at least one official who's come over from the Republic of Ireland, at least one from Northern Ireland.
Superb. Truly international affair.
So that was another 4-0 jam to Manchester. Yeah, they're penny and farthing it.
No, 6 points on the board
for
North Wales.
6 points. 6 points. Another couple went on at the last second there. OK, so we've got Basket Case for North Wales up against Dr. Crusher for Manchester. And Dr. Crusher has crushed the opposition straight through his lead.
Crusher already up on a scoring pass, while Basket Case is still caught up in that 3-wall.
Oh, some fantastic work on the inside line there. It's not often you can get past the tripod like that.
It just...
Twisting and turning.
Yeah. They're very lithe.
Live, yes. It's a good word.
They've got a long stride, and I should imagine, and it's a conversation I've had with some skaters that I'm familiar with, as they head to the box for a forearms. Elbow, my mistake. Forearms, elbow?
Well,
I don't know.
Elbow is now a special case of forearm penalty.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Dr. Crush was obviously a fair bit taller than the rest of the pack.
Yes.
So having that sort of vantage point, so to speak, you get a different perspective.
Bird's eye perspective.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
So you can kind of see how the pack's moving in a different way to, say, a jammer whose eyes are at pack level. So it might be helpful it could be beneficial to be able to see. You might be able to see different gaps.
Is it legal to bring a periscope on track with you?
I'm not sure.
Because that could be another way to get that view.
It could. It absolutely could.
You know, I always got to think about these possibilities. You know.
That real out of the box thinking. Crusher there, back on track, trying to sneak along the inside line, but has picked herself up a cut penalty for her troubles. And that jam coming to its natural end as she takes a seat in the box.
So that was 4 points to Manchester in that jam. Only 3 to North Wales, but every point counts. Oh, and a few more going on for Manchester. So it's 8-3 jam to Manchester. But every point counts for North Wales. And in a sense, every point counts for Manchester, of course, as well. But yeah, they'll be quite happy with their healthy lead as long as they're, you know, every jam that they come out top in is positive for Manchester.
Absolutely. 144 plays 39 with 15 minutes remaining. Meryl Streak.
Of course, what is less of a positive is letting North Wales start on a power jam, and Meryl Streak takes full advantage, getting the lead.
We are on a pack advantage to Wales.
Oh, and a lovely hop along the inside line. Kind of an apex jump, not quite on the apex, but proving it doesn't have to be right on the apex. The slightest curve enough for Meryl there.
Dr. Crusher is back on track. Meryl now through for another 4 points. Meanwhile, Dr. Crusher recycling herself again to make sure that she's not incurring any...
That's another 4 points for North Wales, making this their highest scoring jam of the game so far.
Nice.
Our producer was just ready to write that down. Yep. And North Wales have hit the 50 mark as well.
Superb. Looks like we have had ourselves a star pass for Manchester. Psychosis now in control of the star. Dr. Crusher heading to the penalty box for a direction of gameplay.
Oh, but Psychosis also heading to the penalty box for a cut. Penalty trouble for Manchester here. North Wales already their best jam of the game. Another 4 points on. They've got 13 seconds. Is that long enough to score any more points? It just might be.
So jam coming to its natural conclusion, and Psychosis still sat in the penalty box. Probably about another 10 to 14 seconds remaining.
But I think it's worth really celebrating here, that jam by North Wales, 22-0. That is completely different story from what we've been seeing in most of the game. 22 points, that's the highest scoring jam of the entire game for either team so far.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Manchester taking a team timeout.
As well, they might.
Yeah, going to try and put a stopper in this momentum.
Absolutely, need to steady their nerves. Yeah, and you know, you can look at this point, it's big old points difference. You know, you can say, okay, yeah, they should be home and dry, they should be safe. Well, they're not home and dry and safe if North Wales keep getting 22-0 jams.
No, exactly, and that, I think that's the biggest thing here. 22 points, yes, absolutely amazing. 22 unanswered points.
Yes, unanswered, absolutely. Really impressive jam there by North Wales, showing that their heads haven't gone down. They can still see the potential, take advantage whenever they get an opportunity. And of course, part of that opportunity came from jammer penalties on the Manchester Jammer. Don't want to pick up those jammer penalties. You know, in the first half, the jammer penalties were heavily weighed towards North Wales. 5 to North Wales, 2 to Manchester. I don't know what the story is in this period, but I suspect it's rather different.
I mean, Dr. Crusher picked up 3 penalties in that jam alone, 2 of which were as jammer. Currently, we're sitting on 5 penalties, 5 jammer penalties for Manchester.
Yeah, that's not good news. You know, yes, they're in the lead, but they can't afford to relax too much. They can't afford to pick up a load of jammer penalties, because that's the kind of thing that can happen, those 22-0 jams. Yeah, so this period, completely different story on jammer penalties. 5 for Manchester, just the 1 for North Wales. Right, team timeout over. So we've got that 5-second call. And Slamwise Bambi. Yes, sorry, Bambi. Yes, honestly, I can remember simple words. Yes,
Yeah.
Slamwise Bambi, straight out as lead.
And Psychosis is out of the box as well. She does have a start in hand. Oh, was looking to complete a star pass, but got called for a forearms penalty. So she's going to take seats back in the penalty box. That brings it up to 6 jam penalties in total for Manchester now.
So North Wales had 1 4-point trip and then a 3-point trip because Slamwise slid past the skater on their knees. You don't get the point for sliding past on your knees.
We are going to have a jammer switch as Bambi picks up a backblock penalty, and Psychosis can be released from the box. She is now on 5 penalties, so she is what we would class as hot, or in the danger zone.
I think probably everyone here is hot.
Not wrong. Not wrong at all.
Okay, but Slamwise wasn't in the box for long, matching those penalties. Back on track as well.
Psychosis opting to keep the helmet cover on and stay as jammer instead of switching out, passing to anyone else.
It's a bit of confidence, a bit of self-confidence. Presumably, Psychosis feeling they've got plenty of energy still. Happy to keep jamming.
If you would like to spare any, taking donations of energy.
Talk about energy, look at the speed of this pack. So that is 11 points to North Wales in that jam, 4 to Manchester. So I think that is, is that possibly the second highest scoring jam by North Wales?
I think it might be.
This is yes, it is. So yeah, highest scoring jam followed by second highest scoring jam. This is quite a turnaround by North Wales. If they can keep this up, they can make this scoreline look very respectable.
Close things up considerably as well, 72 to 148. Still obviously a reasonably sized differential, but considering what we were on at the start of the half, 21 to 100 and change?
Yeah.
It was 21 to 100, because I remember it was a solid 79 differential.
I'll tell you what, if North Wales were hoping to continue this momentum, they're on the right lines here. God Complex has lead, Cherry Skatewells for Manchester, being sent to the box for a forearm penalty. And so as a result, a good chunk of the North Wales team able to go on the offence, sweep those Manchester blockers out of the way.
And this is the longest lead streak for North Wales with 3 leads, 3 consecutive leads, which is nice.
Well, and it's not just they're getting the leads, it's the use they're making of them. You know, these aren't leads and get a point or 2-0. These are, leads, game jams.
Yeah.
Jams, that's what they are. Jams, we've seen some of them.
Yeah.
These are 22 points, 11 points. Well, so far in this jam, 4 points on the board, but let's see. Oh, and just as I say that, Gog is sent to the box for a cut.
These aren't just any lead jams. These are Marks & Spencer's extra special lead jams.
Do we have sponsorship?
We absolutely don't. Not this time round. So it's just fun to make it up sometimes.
Yeah, I was just hoping for, if M&S was sponsoring us, maybe we could get some lovely food in.
Yeah. We can dream.
So Skate Wales is returning to the track, being forced as far back as possible by Gadgets Girl, who is well aware of how far they can skate clockwise before breaking the back or going out of play. Which means another couple of points on the board for North Wales there. So 6-0 jam. And it says something for North Wales that 6-0 doesn't sound like that amazing a jam for them. 6-0, that's very satisfactory.
It's all right.
Only 6 points.
Could be better. Could be better, boyos. I jest, of course.
So we've got Basket Case on track for North Wales, and we also have Trauma on track for Manchester. But Trauma is now leaving the track because of a cut. Manchester really picking up a lot of jammer penalties now. This is really hurting them. So Basket Case not going to be able to get a lead because they removed the helmet cover, but now they've put it back on, they can start racking up those points.
Yes, and this is the main thing. The helmet cover has gone back on before Basket Case has reached the pack, meaning that obviously she is eligible to score points, because you don't want to be an inactive jammer when you're in the pack.
Absolutely not. And I saw that at a game last weekend. The jammers' helmet cover fell off. They didn't realise they were working very hard for no reward. Might be nice if the bench had told them.
Yeah, or an inside-out helmet cover.
Yeah, could also be. That's why you should always get reversible helmet covers.
Oh, yeah. I haven't thought of that. This is 5 jams in a row of Manchester getting a penalty, a jammer penalty.
That's quite telling, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you got to feel like we're getting a bit to a mental game now.
Basket Case taking that helmet cover off for possibly for a star pass, but of course not going to be scoring any points without it on. So this may not be the best tactic. Trauma, meanwhile, very much with the helmet cover on, starting to go around and score some points of their own.
Trauma getting through on the inside line to complete that scoring pass as the jam comes to its natural end.
Yeah, so perhaps not the most useful tactic there, removing the helmet cover at that point. It's just checking on the points there, and it looks like actually it led to no points at all being scored by North Wales in that last jam.
Yeah.
8 to Manchester. And we now have a team timeout. Five minutes to go. Probably a good time to regroup, have a chat.
Absolutely.
Shall we regroup and have a chat?
Yeah.
What should we have a chat about?
I would just like to mention that I've got some big old mad love for the fantastic officials that we've got this weekend.
We have got some amazing officials.
I know we've mentioned it before in the development program and everything, but we've had 2 crews of officials this weekend working flat out in this ridiculous heat. And we've had some super intense games. and we've had a lot of fun, and they've kept calm and professional throughout. But it's also been clear that they've been enjoying themselves, which to me is very important.
Absolutely, because if you're not enjoying it, why are you doing it?
Exactly, like it's.
Nobody's forced to do roller derby.
No, this is a hobby. If it's not bringing you joy, then
Change what you're doing.
exactly. But yeah, it's been hot. It's been a lot. But our officials have pushed through. We did have some technical issues earlier where the equipment kind of went no.
So North Wales trying something a bit different here. Megapixel on as starting jammer.
Hey.
Up against French Bird for Manchester.
French Bird through on the inside. Manchester Megapixel wiped out, but recovering quickly.
Move the helmet cover. Is that going to confuse Manchester? Well, they're certainly well aware of who the jammer is. But of course, it gives you the option of passing or possibly faking a pass. Unfortunately, in this case, what it's led to is a trip to the box.
Yeah, unfortunately, Pixel was... I did wonder when she came back on track, she was just a little bit too far ahead.
Cut penalty.
Yeah.
So, French Bird now unopposed on track. Will this be the first jam in a while where Manchester don't pick up a jam penalty?
Time will tell.
So, God Complex, nice tap to knock French Bird out, but didn't get back in time, so French Bird able to step back on just where they were. Still being held back very effectively. Just a 2-ball, but remarkably hard to get past.
Really amazing penalty kill from North Wales.
So I think that's Slady who was part of that wall alongside God Complex. I think it's some really fantastic work. Just the two of them managing to hold back the block of the jammer for so long.
I mean, French Bird had obtained all the points she had past the hips, but preventing her from completing another lap and the opportunity to get more points.
Exactly.
Yes.
So holding that to just a 4-0 jam to Manchester. Could have been a lot more if they're not being able to kill the power jam like that. And, the jam is out nearly neck and neck, but Merrill Streak just slightly ahead, getting lead. Hotly pursued by Dr. Crusher. Dr. Crusher has now taken the lead on the track. And as a result, Merrill Streak decides to call off rather than risking Crusher getting points ahead of them.
I've got some respect for that. Coming into the final 2.5 minutes of the game, 78 points to North Wales, 136 to Manchester.
160.
160, I don't know where I got 136 from.
They probably had 136 a while ago.
They likely would have had it at some point.
Yeah. Probably just before they got 137.
Let's go with that. Thanks, MC. Jam is on as we move into the final 2 minutes.
North Wales going back to their regular jamming rotation. We've got Slamwise Barbie on for them again. Up against
Bambi.
Cherry Skatewells. Sorry, I keep getting my films confused. But both
quite
good,
different films.
Both good films, very different.
Both great, but great contact from Pixel there, and it's always wonderful to see the Butt of Doom in action. You're not familiar with Pixel's Butt of Doom?
No, I'm not.
You better get familiar.
But I mean, the fact you put of Doom after it is already terrifying me.
Exactly. We are in a power jam now for North Wales. Cherry Skatewells is on a power jam. Cherry Skatewells picked up a back block penalty, and Slamwise Bambi is now on a power jam. She's the sole jammer on track, having completed her initial pass.
But of course not lead. Lead has already gone. Doesn't stop Slamwise scoring some points. Megapixel trying to help with the sweep there. Now trying an assist. Bit of a whip. Don't see as many whips these days.
No. No. Seen a couple of T-shirt whips this weekend.
Yeah, that was a T-shirt whip. Yeah, yeah.
Maybe they're making a comeback.
But both jammers now on track. But Skatewell's being forced to recycle all the way to the back of the pack.
Looks like we have had a star pass for North Wales. Megapixel now in possession of the star.
Will Megapixel be able to get out? Yes! Unfortunately, just as the jam ends.
And that is full time.
It is not full time. It very nearly was, but Manchester just managed to signal for a timeout just before the clock ticked down to 0. So, yeah, Manchester managed to signal for it. So it looks like we're going to have one last jam.
Fair enough.
And the good news is we are still full of energy, so we're going to offer you top-notch commentary on this last jam.
So 80 points to 164. This will absolutely be the final jam of this game. You probably will get some bleed over as we have North Wales on the bench next to us. Oh, yeah.
Their chant is, "We are North Wales," which is very accurate.
I mean, we love a factual chant.
Okay, so last jam of the game. Teams are ready. Officials are ready. Announcers are ready.
Just about.
Just about.
You ready, Smash? Smash ready. You ready, MC?
Yes.
And we are off Meryl Streak and Trauma. Two, in my opinion, obvious choices for jammers for this final jam. And Trauma is through as your lead jammer for Manchester. We are starting with a pack advantage for...
Just like period 1.
Yeah, absolutely.
Trauma out as
We're
lead.
reliving.
But Meryl Streak also out. Now the question is, are they going to call off? Yes, they are. And finishing the game with a 4-0 jam.
Yep. I think what Manchester were looking to do, by the looks, since they had one blocker in the penalty box, and it looks like they were waiting until she was released so they could finish with everybody out of the box.
Oh, how lovely.
Yeah, that's nice.
Finish as a team. Play as a team, finish as a team.
Yeah, nice, nice.
Which is what we've done.
Yeah.
We've played as a team.
We have, we absolutely have. We will, of course, wait for the official final scores, but that is our... Yep, there we go. Your official final scores, my friends. North Wales roller derby, 80 points. But your winners taking the bronze medal of WFTDA Tier 3, did you say? Manchester roller derby, the Valkyries, with 168 points.
Well, that was a lot of excitement. I enjoyed that game. There was some very nice play going on. Somewhat different tactics to what we saw in the previous game. Lovely to see these contrasts.
Absolutely.
And we've still got 2 more games for you today.
We do. What we got?
So next up, we have the Inhuman League against Brummies, and that is the men's MRDA Tier 2 final, deciding who's going to get those gold medals and that big old trophy.
Yeah, it's going to be beautiful.
That's still not the end of it. After that, we have Hallam versus Wiltshire, and that's the Worcester Tier 3 final, which, quite in similar manner, is for some gold medals and a big old trophy.
Absolutely gorgeous.
I got to hold that trophy earlier. I don't know if I was really meant to, but I did.
Why not?
And I felt on top of the world.
I mean, you held it. Don't feel too bad about holding it. There is photos on social media of one of our beloved official friends, Evil Saint Laurent, who came and found it yesterday, and there's photos of them licking it. So.
Oh, I didn't realise it had germs. Oh.
Evil's clean. They're fine.
Oh, that's good. Good,
yeah,
cool,
yeah.
Excellent.
They're COVID safe. It's fine. What a way to end. Folks, we do hope that you've enjoyed this feed, and you will be sticking with us for our final 2 games of the Five Nations Roller Derby Playoffs 2023. I have been and will continue to be Snoogans.
And I may have been MC.
And our producer for this game has been the ever incredible Smash.
Yay!
Folks, thank you so much. We will see you soon.
See you soon.
Bye.